We first heard the transmission years ago, but at the time we didn't have the means to fully pursue it. You see, we had just started colonizing Mars, and at the time we thought that that was going to be our next big move, but it wasn't until we learned the severity of our situation that we started to really unravel the meaning of the transmission.
When the news went public, I think a lot of people were nervous, scared even. The fact that we weren't alone, it challenged a lot of people's beliefs. But Katherine was different. She was the first to volunteer. I think her curiosity was her drive. But obviously we were concerned once we learned about her situation.
Katherine was a true adventurer. All she wanted to do was explore. She had this mindset that if she couldn't be the first at something, she would at least be the best at it. Failure was not a part of her vocabulary. She loved to travel. I mean, even before we met, she'd been almost everywhere in the world. She was very passionate about trying new things and seeing new places. It made sense that she would make a career in space.
When we learned about Katherine's pregnancy, we had our reservations, of course, and not in her abilities or her devotion to the mission. But we're in the business of exploration, not separating families. So when it was announced that Katherine would be leading the mission, there was obviously a lot of pushback from the public.
People were furious. They couldn't imagine how this woman could leave her family. People just couldn't see the larger picture. They didn't understand the importance yet. Katherine got it. She understood it. Her whole team understood it. Since the beginning of spaceflight, the endeavor has always been to push further, to try and exceed our grasp. When you look at the early missions like Voyager and Apollo, then our transition to the shuttle and ISS, even Mars, it's always been about taking the next step. Here we are, truly sailing into the unknown, but with immense possibilities.
I remember when they first released the news about the signal. It was evening. Katherine was just in awe over it. I mean, it changed everything. We were watching history. Suddenly, we felt much smaller. I knew there'd be a mission, and I knew Katherine would be the first to sign up. I could see it in her eyes. I mean, who wouldn't want to be a part of that, right?
So it took several years to decipher the message, but once we did, it became very clear that this transmission wasn't just a hello. It contained an encyclopedia of information, a wealth of knowledge, things that would change everything. Life as we know it would never be the same. We had just scratched the surface, and at the end of it was an invitation. We just had to find the will to go.
After such criticism from the public, we were certain we'd have to postpone the mission. But Katherine immediately insisted that we continue. She was adamant that we keep moving forward. She became the driving force behind the mission. And I think it was her pregnancy that motivated her the most. I think she realized that there was something larger than herself.
We all have an expiration date. Our Earth has an expiration date. We're cause number one. In the years, we've seen a rise in sea levels. Storms have become much more aggressive. Polar ice is on the verge of collapse. Air pollution is rapidly killing crops. We're in an extinction period. But this transmission, it represents a chance. It's a hell of a chance. But I've seen what's in that message, what possibilities there are. And if it takes those 4 people 100 years to try and unlock those answers, that's a chance we have to take. What's more important than that?
Maybe if we had Michael earlier, things would have been different, but we still wanted to have a family, even though she was going to be gone. I mean, maybe that's why people were so upset with us, with her. We always used to talk about our next big adventure being motherhood. Michael opened Katherine's eyes to what really mattered. He showed her how precious life is. She'd spend hours with him. She wasn't getting any sleep because she couldn't take her eyes off him. Michael represented everything good in the world, everything worth fighting for. She wasn't going to back down from that.
When Katherine and her team left, I asked her why she never gave in. After all the inquiries and the anger from the public, and the risk that she might never come back. Why did she still want to lead this mission? What was driving her to continue? And she said it was because she believed in Ryan, and she knew that she'd make a great mom. And then she handed me a picture of her son, and she said, "This is why. This is why we do everything."
She went because she decided to move in the direction of hope. Hope overwhelmed her. People might say she's a bad person, she's a bad mother, that she's selfish, but they will never know the sacrifice. The birthdays she'll miss, the graduations, her grandchildren. She didn't do this because she was selfish. She did this because she believed in something greater than herself. She is giving up a lifetime so that generations after her don't have to. I think that makes her the most selfless person I know.
Hi, Michael. It's Mom. I love you, sweetie. I love you so much. I hope that you're being a good boy. Remember to brush your teeth and say your prayers, and never forget who loves you. I miss you so much, and I'm always thinking of you. You're always going to be my special boy. I know that you're going to have a lot of questions growing up, and I'm sorry that I won't be there to answer them. But I want you to know that Mommy is doing something very special. And I hope that one day you'll understand why I had to do it. I want you to always dream big and never stop believing in yourself. And whenever you feel alone or sad, just look up at the stars and know that I'm looking back at you.